What's up, guys? It's day 13, I think, of the 1,000 pound club challenge, and today I'm hitting chest. It's been a while since I've done the road to 1,000 pound club, mostly because of the injury that I talked to you guys about. My lower back still kind of hurts a little bit. I was squatting one day at the gym and it was still hurting a bit, so I decided to take it light. I think that it'll be okay if I do back exercises or chest exercises, but I just cannot do deadlifts and squats temporarily because it just kind of hurts, and if I continue to do it, then I think that it could slow my progress even more if I did, compared to me not working out. If I did another heavy squat or a heavy deadlift, I think I could be in the hospital for a week or two, not gonna lie. But anyways, today I'm gonna do chest and hopefully I can make some progress. Okay guys, I'm gonna start off with the chest press because my usual bench press is taken up right now. So I'll just do this to warm up first. One thing I kind of notice with this machine is that I feel it more on my chest compared to an actual bench press. But I think the trade-off is that it might target my triceps a little less compared to the actual bench press. So a lot of people, what they do is they use a lighter weight and then they use that to warm up to a heavier weight. And not a lot of people really go heavyweight first and then go lighter later. There is a benefit to that though. If you go heavy first and then go lighter later, then the lighter weight will feel really easy compared to the heavy weight. But the problem with that is that your muscles aren't ready for the heavy weight at first. My brother thought that you should go heavyweight first though, because if you do, then you'll have enough energy for a new PR and all of that when you go to the gym. But I don't think a lot of people will be able to do that first try going for a new PR. That's why generally people warm up first. But I do like to go lighter later in the day after I do the heavier weight because it can feel lighter. That right there was a good example of doing heavyweight then doing lightweight. So that way you don't stop exercise and it still exercises your muscle even with a lighter weight that can make progress, whether it be for endurance, stamina, strength or muscle. On the previous set, I did 170, then went lighter from there. But this set, I just did 160 and went lighter from there. And I thought that it would be a little easier, but since my muscles are already fatigued, then even that 160 was difficult to do.
I like the test themselves again. I would come over along. I was about the coach.
It's always important to keep exercising, even if you couldn't do the heavy weight that you just did. Even if it's just partial reps or a lighter weight, you can keep going. Then do it, because it'll keep exercising your muscle and you'll become stronger that way. I think I'm done with this machine and I might go to the bench press or just some other exercise now. Okay, the next exercise I'm gonna do is the dumbbell chest flies thingy. I haven't done this in a while, so don't criticize me about my form. But it's good to do different exercises to really target different muscles. I remember when I was younger, I thought to myself, if people can do such a heavy weight, why can't they do 1 pound more? And that was kind of stupid. My brother thought that, well, that means that they could lift infinite weight. But I guess the reason why I thought that was because I thought that human limits, with how Hafthor Bjornsson can lift 1,104 pounds, how that's pretty good, but like I thought human limits could go higher than that. I'm pretty sure people back then, around like the 1700s or something like that, they were able to lift way more than people nowadays because of less laziness and how we have more technology nowadays and how machines and stuff do everything for us. We have become lazier and weaker because of that. I think that set was kind of mediocre. I think that I went too low range of motion on that. I'm gonna drop the weight and maybe try to increase my range of motion a bit. It's good to lift heavy, but it's even more important to keep your form good. I know this is kind of hypocritical because my deadlift form is kind of off with my back hunching a bit. But to be fair, I lift raw when it comes to deadlift and also squat. I think that set was a little better than the last one. You don't need to flatten out your arms or anything during this lift, but it's important to get a good range of motion.
What's the half on Thursday, Leon? 316.
That's a pretty good game.
Texas, Purdue.
I'm not going Purdue.
I like Purdue. What about Indiana? They in it?
No, I don't think they made it.
So you're gonna miss up north?
I'm not sure.
So one thing that you don't want to do that I just did was how I put down those weights. I remember my trainer, how he said that if you put down those weights in a certain way, then it can injure you. And I think that was the way that you're not supposed to do it.
Okay, so you
What you generally want to do is put it on your legs and then you put it down, and that generally prevents injury. Now, if the weight's too heavy, then maybe sometimes you can just drop it, but make sure no one's around, obviously. But if that's too heavy for you and you gotta drop it, then you should lighten the weight generally, unless maybe if you're trying to go for a new PR.
Well, we got the boys keeping their mind off the everything.
Well, they thought they had come out and a lot.
So I know I've said this before, but generally you should keep movements in the chest fly. Even if it's dumbbells, you should try to keep that for the end, because I'm pretty sure that exercises your muscles in a certain way that stretches it or something like that, and it helps you at the end of a workout so you don't strain, I think. But I just did it now because doing incline bench or regular bench press or even maybe static holds could have been a bit too much for me, so that's why I kind of squeezed this in between. I'm done with this exercise, but I think I'm gonna go hit the incline bench before I head out.
The first one was I might do tomorrow, but I'm gonna see this one. Oh, cause one more. Cause the first one, low key, we did like that's a little ball.
So I just realized this at crunch on the barbell with the bench presses. There's two types of barbells. There's like the really long one where it's kind of like a deadlift bar, and there's the one that's designed for bench press. But over here, they kind of have a nice hybrid of those two, where I think it's kind of meant to be used for both. I like this barbell definitely more than the deadlift barbell, and I'm not really sure if I like it more than the bench press barbell, but it's a good mix with the two.
Yeah, this tiny brand. They weren't like, but we got like post that thing. We got I'm gonna send you like. He said he could.
I remember
He wanted to do a drop.
a while back ago when I was working out at Crunch without a spotter on incline. I was doing a pretty heavy weight for several reps, and then I couldn't do it on the last rep, so I obviously didn't want it to stop on me or anything, so I just threw it like Sam Sulek. Luckily no one was in front of me, or else they could have gotten hurt, obviously. But then there was this one time when I was more of an inexperienced lifter. I was lifting without a spotter on incline as well. But this time I couldn't throw it because the barbell was right next to the wall. So what I had to just do was I lowered it to my lap. Someone tried to help me before I did that, but I was too arrogant and just put it on my lap. And then I just had to lift it up from there. Luckily I didn't get injured or anything. I still think that regular bench press is more dangerous without a spotter compared to incline bench, because generally what I could do is I could just kind of lower it if I'm losing out steam, and it could just fall on my lap. Now don't take my advice, don't do that obviously, but compared to regular bench press, maybe you can lift it down and roll it, but there is a slim percentage that if you just can't push it down, or you do it too late, it could fall on your neck or your head, and then you're gonna end up in the hospital for several days. That's why I prefer to do incline alone compared to regular lift. But obviously don't ego lift and do it without a spotter by yourself if you're going for a real heavy weight.
They with those. Yeah, they're all with those up there.
Okay guys, I think that's gonna do it for chest day coming back from the injury. I gotta get to class. Hey guys, I think that's gonna do it for my chest day. I haven't done a road to 1,000 pound club video in a while because it was spring break and I did get injured, kind of. I hope you guys liked this video. I am gonna try to post more videos, definitely at least for my chest. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the other ones for a while. It just really depends on how fast it takes me to recover. But I'll see you guys in the next one.